Hi, Misu-chan here. I'm really sorry this video has taken a long time. Recording has not been easy, but I'm here now. I just had dinner. It's late at night from the time this is being recorded, so I want to get this out because I really love talking about this topic. So the topic today for me is how I develop my art style, because I have a lot of friends who are trying to get back into drawing or start drawing for the first time, and they always ask me how I started my art style, how you start an art style in general, where you start off when you have really no drawing background at all, like any type of experience. You never drew when you were like in high school, middle school, whatever, stuff like that. So I decided I'm going to make this video so some of my friends can use this as like a reference and maybe get them started on their path. So, put it bluntly, art is hard. Not gonna lie, it's really hard, and like whatever the medium, if it's painting, sculpting, sewing, cooking, music, anything artistic or any professional trade, it's hard when you first start out. No matter what age you are, or like your experience level, it's hard starting out. But the good thing is you start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. From work your way down all the way to the top of where you want to be, and then push yourself back there, or push yourself beyond there. So yeah, there's basically any creative medium will take time and a lot of practice, and especially art, a lot of patience, because art is mostly when it comes to drawing people, like characters, it's like the subject of anatomy. It's going to take a long time to figure out how long an arm is supposed to be, or where the head goes, how what texture hair you want. It's just a whole kind of mess. But once you get started, it's really hard to stop, and it's really hard to not want to push yourself further when it comes to art or designing anything. So when it comes to me, I've been drawing ever since I was pretty much able to hold a crayon in my hand. My mom drew. I remember my mom used to draw a lot when I was younger. I know she said my grandfather, her father, at one point when she was little, I remember my mom telling me how my grandfather drew a storybook for her and my aunt when they were little, and it was just his own story, and I thought that was really cool. So I think my artistic trait came mostly from my mom's side of the family, and I just kind of picked up on it, or just like my mom in general. So that's pretty much, and I guess I caught that trait too. I don't know, but when it comes to anime, or my anime style drawing, I first started with a how to draw a Pokemon book that I got when I was in, I want to say maybe first or second grade. I don't remember, but I remember getting it, and it showed you how to draw. I remember it had Totodile, it had Pikachu, it had Mew. And I used to be able to draw Mew really well when I had that book, and it was amazing. I could, to the point where I could draw Mew on a dime like that. I know it had how to draw Ash and Pikachu together, so that's pretty much where I got started. But when it comes to actual anime, I didn't actually start drawing anime until I met a friend of mine back in 3rd or 4th grade, because they drew a lot and their art was really good. They're the ones who kind of introduced me to anime. And when I saw them drawing it, because that's the style that I wanted to draw in, and I need more experience than just watching actual shows like Sailor Moon and stuff like that. I needed an actual just piece of reference. So I actually asked them to if they wouldn't mind making a quick little reference sheet for me to use on my spare time, so I can just learn the trait and just learn how to draw. So they agreed, because we still are really good friends. But they drew a quick reference sheet for me, and it came super helpful. I literally drew every single day. I carried that thing around with me, and we would draw even when we had sleepovers. We would sit there and we would draw just for fun. And I used that and I kind of learned art style a little bit. Cut to middle school, I get my first How to Draw Anime book from, I believe if I remember correctly, a book fair. I think this was like 6th or 7th grade. I got a How to Draw Anime book. Now, at the time, the art book was really good. At the time, that's the key word there, because it's like one of those old like How to Draw anime books where like the hair is all over the place, the eyes are like super big, and like some of the body proportions don't really make sense. But it's the only thing I had at the time, so I can't really be picky because I'm just a small child with no money, and at this time I did not know what YouTube was. Um, I really wasn't old enough to make a YouTube account anyway. I was able to view YouTube, but I never knew about it. I didn't know YouTube until like high school. So yeah, I was gonna cut that. But I used the techniques from that book. I carried that thing around with me, and used it to try to develop my art style with the techniques that it taught you. So I used that for a while until I got my second art book sometime later. And this one was better than the first one that I had because it had characters there was one character I remember that was like a snowboarder. So she had a snowboard, she had goggles, so it went step by step, like the shapes to make the goggles and how to apply it to the face and like the snowboard and everything. I remember one character, he had a guitar, so it broke down like the structure of the guitar, like the shape. Again, it all came down to shapes. So I copied that, and throughout that, almost all of my characters had guitars because also I'm a fan of rock music. I love rock. I wanted to be a rock star when I was little. Just so does everyone. But yeah, um, that one was really good. I love that. And what's funny is I actually saw that same How to Draw book a couple of months back at Half Price Books, and I looked through it and I was like, "Oh my god, this is where I got started." And I was really excited. Like I was half tempted to buy it again, but I'm just like, there's really no point in me buying it again. I would just really buy it for nostalgia and then probably sell it again after maybe a couple of months. But I just got like the best flashback of my life. Um, but cut to my high school years. I was on my third drawing book. Now this one I got from my cousin's girlfriend. I can't remember if it was. I think it was for my birthday. I think it was a late birthday present. It was like basic to anime or something like that. I still have it somewhere. But this one was really cool because it came in like a plastic carrier, and it had the special paper to draw manga panels, because this book also taught how to draw in manga style, or how to make your own, basically like how to make your own comic book. And I really like that. And the structure of how they draw their characters was just like really, really cool. And I carried that, like, I've said I carried all of my anime books around. This one I held close to me. I never let that thing out of my sight. Well, there was one time I accidentally left it in a classroom, and I ran back to get it, and there was another class in session, and I saw someone with it, and I actually knocked on the door, and I looked at him, and was like, "Hey, that's mine. Can I have it back?" He and his friends were looking through it, but he gave it back to me, so I was like, "Oh, crisis averted. I got it back." But anyway, yeah, I love this one. This one is where I develop my technique for like drawing bodies and stuff, and it, like I said, it's probably the best one I ever had. And so that's pretty much how I got my art style started. I've always been a fan of like the chibi type of anime style. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, like for example, good example because my favorite anime, Panty and Stocking, that type of anime style. I really really like it. So that's over time, that's where I wanted my art to go. I still draw like the regular, like more realistic type anime style, but that one is my true art style. And I actually developed it because there is a comic online called The Grim Tales from Down Below. It's on snafucomics.com. It is ongoing. I found out some time ago. I found this website. I don't remember how, but I found it in high school during one of my IT classes. We had a break. And I was looking through it and I was reading the comics and I was super interested and I loved the art style. Like it was so good. And I kept reading it. It's drawn by someone named Bleed Man. That he has a DeviantArt, so that's his DeviantArt name, Bleed Man. So when I got my DeviantArt account, I found him and I started like following them. And I love their art style. Like it was so good. And I just kept I kept like reading it and I was like trying to catch up with everything and I was like checking for updates. So get Grim Tales from Down Below has all the classic cartoon characters. If any kid like me grew up in like 90s to early 2K and watched the old, really good Cartoon Network back in the day that had like a bunch of cartoons like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, My Life as a yeah, no, My Life as a Teenage Robot was on Nickelodeon, I'm sorry. Was it? No, it was Cartoon Network. It was Cartoon Network, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. But yeah, it had all the really good classic cartoons. Well, this comic kind of takes place in the future where Grim and Mandy are in a relationship and they basically rule the world or like they are dominant in some kind of empire. They have two children whose names are Grim Jr. and Mindy. Now, I really liked the character Mindy because she was just a little girl. She was cute and petite, and she had this really amazing, cute little body figure. And she was just all around an adorable little doll, but she was also very evil. Just read the comic. It's so good. Anyway, and I can't give this comic any more praise. But anyway, I'm going to make a little confession because I know it's a problem in the art community right now. And like I said, I'm guilty of doing this. I don't do it anymore, obviously. And I never posted anything. But I traced art. That's how I learned how to do this art style. I traced it. I would put a piece of paper up to the computer screen of an image I liked, and I would sit there and trace it. Now, I'm going to make this clear. I never posted any traced art. Never did. I did it because there were some things that there were some things I wanted to work on, and so like tracing is also a good way to learn art. So that's also how I learned. Now, I didn't trace for very long because I found out how to use. I didn't really find out, but like in high school we kind of had points of how many times we could print something off. Like we had money towards it, and I would usually print off images that I wanted to like use as reference. I kind of ran out of money, so my only other option was just tracing. That way, I could just put it in my folder, and I would just have it there if I wanted to look at the reference. And it really actually helped because I kind of learned. I would take like different pictures of Mindy and all the other characters and kind of morph it with my style that I had at the time, and kind of sort of basically find a way to make it more my style and try to move it away from Bleedman's. Now I'm gonna say I'm still following Bleedman on like DeviantArt because I love their work to this day. Like their stuff is absolutely amazing. Their style has changed a little bit. I've noticed, especially through the comics. I've noticed their style kind of changing a little bit, or just like there's basically new techniques that I've noticed that they use. And so over time, I found a way to basically take that same art style that they use. I don't know why I keep saying he is just like a character trait. I really apologize for that. I'm very sorry. But I took that style, made it my own, and kind of slowly morphed it until I got it to where I want it to be. I'm still obviously perfecting my style. I'm still perfecting it, but I have my art style where I want it to be for right now. I'm still obviously learning everything that I can. I practice new techniques and mediums all the time. But yeah, that's how I got my art style, and I give a lot of credit to Bleedman. because they are, like I said, I cannot give this person any more praise than I already have. I love their stuff. Like I said, their comic Grim Tales from Down Below is ongoing on snafucomics.com. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got my art style. Like I said, I'm still developing it and I'm still learning new things to use um, with it. And my advice to anyone who's trying to start out in art or like trying to draw anime style or like a style in general, my advice and pretty much everyone else's advice is just keep working hard and practice every day. And when you feel inspired and confident, challenge and push your skills because you never know what you're capable of. I learned this because also a fun thing to do that I started doing is, so on my DeviantArt account, I've redrawn old art of mine that I did, and I did like basically before and after pictures. So there's one picture, the first one I did, I think I drew in like high school. So I was like maybe almost oh my gosh, it's been almost 10 years. It's been almost 10 years. So like I used an old sketchbook and I found an old picture and I redrew it, colored it, and I sat back and looked at the improvement and looked at all the techniques that I've learned over the years and compared it to my old art, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I like this is just amazing." You like that's really good. That's a really good thing to do. Like after you've practiced a lot and you've got your like once you set like a goal for yourself, like this is where I want my art to go for right now, like making little steps for yourself. In a couple of years, take an old art piece that you've done and try to redraw it or redo it in general, and that way you can see all that you can just like see every all the techniques you've learned and how it's helped you develop over the course of like your art career. It's so much, like I'm telling you, it's so much fun. I've done this I have three different pictures on my DeviantArt, and I will link it below to show you, like you can see my DeviantArt account. But yeah, I it's so much fun. Like I'm still looking through all of my old sketchbooks that I have. Also, that's another thing. Do not throw your old sketchbooks away. It doesn't matter how much they make you cringe. Everyone's art makes them cringe from like 10 to 15 plus years ago. It makes everyone cringe. But you keep it because you never know what'll inspire you, and you could just be fiddling around with your stuff if you're in the process of moving, and boom, they're right there. You can sit there and look through them. You can like set them to the side and you can look through them and be like, oh wow, I remember drawing this. I remember like what inspired me to draw this, and you'll try to redraw, and maybe you want to redraw it again. Like again, you never know what's going to happen with your art. So like yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else to say. Just keep, all I gotta say is just keep drawing and learning. And like I said, how I did in the beginning, where I had a friend make a reference sheet for me when I started drawing, ask a friend who draws if they'll help you in exchange art styles, have them make a reference sheet for you. Me and some friends of mine from college, we sometimes get together whenever we can, and we just have drawing sessions or like art sessions in general. Like I'll be drawing, someone else will be drawing. I have a friend who makes their own plushies, so she'll sit there and work on her stuff. Or it's just like a big giant crafting party while we all watch anime and eat a bunch of snacks. And it's really good. So like if you have a really good friend who like you think will be able to help you, and like you're really close to them and you see them on a regular basis, or even if you don't, or like you chat online, ask if they can make your reference sheet. Just like a little quick one page, 1 to 2 pages maybe. And also ask them if they have any recommendations of like different how to draw books, because like I said, if you have friends who are willing to help you develop your art style or just start drawing in general, definitely go to them. They're really like everyone should be really supportive in this art community, and like we should all be striving to help each other grow. And just sharing techniques and ideas is a really good way to start. That's pretty much all I have to say. Also, I have commissions open. I will put a link in the description if you want to check them, if you want to check my page out. And if you want to commission, you can go to one of my social medias and DM me. But that's about all I have. Yeah, that's about all I have. Until next time, stay weird and awesome. I almost forgot to mention, so the piece that I'm drawing right now, the male fox character actually belongs to a good friend of mine named Chase. He showed me this character a while back, so I got the idea to draw his fox character with my fox character. So yeah, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my friend. You're awesome, you stay awesome, and you keep drawing, buddy. And the rest of you, I hope you stay awesome as well. Bye!